of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Out of my dreams to my real life. 'Cause girl, I wanna know you feel like, yeah. Come closer to me, let the stars align, yeah. In the middle of the night you bring the sunshine. Miss Lady, she have a pot on the fire, burn a flame when she cooking, yeah. She have a government name, but I call she good looking, oh. And she look innocent, but she know what she doing. It's not the pot or the fire, but the seasoning she put in. She have me body, kaya, kaya, kaya. Good Lord, Miss Lady, kaya, kaya, kaya. You drive me crazy, kaya, kaya, kaya. Good Lord, Miss Lady, you drive me crazy, yeah. So I tell you, hold on, right it. I love you when I see in front of me. Slow down. See in front of me, hold on, ride it. I love you, I see in front of me. Slow down, time it. I love you, I see in front of me. I love you, I see in front of me. She have a pot on the fire, burn a flame when she cooking, yeah. She have a government name, but I call she good looking, oh. And she look innocent, but she know what she doing, oh. It's not the pot or the fire, but the seasoning she put in. She have me body, kaya, kaya, kaya. Good Lord, Miss Lady, kaya, kaya, front of me. Slow down, time it. I love you, I see in front of me. She have a pot on the fire, man a flame when she cooking. She have a government name, but I call she good looking. And she look innocent, but she know what she doing. It's not the pot on the fire, but the seasoning she put in. She have me balling, kaya, kaya, kaya. Good Lord, Miss Lady, kaya, kaya, kaya. You drive me crazy, kaya, kaya, kaya. Good Lord, Miss Lady, you drive me crazy, yeah. So attention,
Wake up, rise up. It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
Step out of my dreams to my real life.
So, good morning, everybody. How are you doing this morning? Welcome to it. Welcome to NETT Radio, New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. And of course, this is where we take you above and beyond. Beautiful Tuesday morning. Good to be getting up with you. Actually, it's wonderful to be getting up with you, wherever you may be. TNT, good morning. Neighbors in the Caribbean, good morning. Friends and family streaming all around the globe, all our diaspora people, good day to you. Thank you so much for making NETT Radio your choice, especially within the morning period here. Oh, we are so happy to be here with you. As always, I want to say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And everything that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing on to you. Let me just really say, ciao. Hold on, right there.
Hold on, right there.
Yeah, the pot on the fire, the thing kusubeing nicely right about now.
I love you, I see in front of me.
Really beautiful wake you up song this morning. Just get you in a nice kind of mood. And I know your coffee is running, your doubles are running, and your kaya is running. Welcome to the breakfast show, everybody.
And she look innocent, but she know what she doing.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Morocco's Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
All right, everybody, and of course, good morning to you. Welcome to the breakfast show, and we're happy to be in your space this morning. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. We're giving God thanks and praises for this beautiful one as always, as we welcome everybody to the breakfast show. Of course, good morning to my co-host, Richard, who will join us in a moment, and of course, Wendell, who is already here very early. So, Wendell, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning, Sir Charles. Sir Charles, are you hearing me clearly?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Not as clear as I normally hear you, but I'm hearing you pretty good.
Yeah, I'm using a new device and I'm getting you extremely loud and the music extremely loud.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure why. I tried to turn it down. I can't. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and we are happy. We are glad to be in the land of the living. Of course, happy birthday to those celebrating birthdays today. Whom do I have? Sir Charles? I think I have some people who we know. Marcia Chanpak. Happy birthday, Marcia Chanpak.
I haven't seen her for years, boy, you know.
Yeah. I haven't seen her either for quite a little while, yes.
Yeah.
Jason Alexander used to be a counselor in San Juan Lavantil. Wendell Manwarin today, he is celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, Wendell. Rhonda Alexis Marshall, Helena Pierre, Clyde Toussaint. Don't know if he's any relative to Chris Toussaint or Lennox Toussaint. Jody Lal Singh and Oswald Hosang. He lives out there on Mokorapa Road in St. James. Happy birthday to June Bayer and Marissa Green also. They are all celebrating birthdays today. Today is June 9th, 2026. All right?
Awesome.
Happy birthday to everybody. Of course, happy birthday, Wendell. Great day today.
Yeah, I'm hearing you guys extremely loud, but I just don't know how to turn it down.
Okay, well, I don't know what might be responsible for that.
I turned it all the way down on the device, the volume all the way down, and I'm still getting you all very loud. If I turn it back up, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So I had to figure it out. I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
All right. Well, let me send out some happy birthday greetings to Michelle Rochiquez, who's celebrating her birthday today. And Michelle is one of those individuals from what they might call foundation people, started also with us when one or two started it. And after all these years, she's transited with us all through and has stayed with us. Today is her birthday, and we want to wish you a happy birthday, Michelle. Of course, you have a little team of St. Augustine and Joanne and Julie out there in Enterprise. Yeah, we just want to wish you all the best. Enjoy your day, you and your family.
All right. Well, I guess I sent that message to, let me put that in our private chat. I did send a message out to Mariano.
That's right.
And he responded. But he responded and gave me a word. He said Wednesday. Anyway, let me send it for you all so you can figure out what to do.
Last time, Mariano, I had the thing in draft and all kind of thing. I forget.
Yeah, I know. He gave me a weird response. So I sent him the link still. So we see. So you look out for him today.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right, but good morning, Richard. How are you doing?
Good morning, guys, and good morning to our listeners and viewers, wherever you are, in whatever time zone. And thank you for joining us this morning. We know you have a choice, and we're glad that you chose us. And of course, good morning again to Wendell and Sir Charles. Good morning, guys.
Morning again, Richard. Happy to have you here this morning. What happened yesterday? Anything happened? I just zoned out yesterday, and I actually slept all night. I zoned out. I came home and I slept again last night. What happened? Anything special happened yesterday?
In terms of news, no, not really. Not that I'm aware of.
All right. Except they have arrested somebody. I think they've detained somebody in the murder of Miss Mercedes. Haven't they? They started sharing an image.
But we mentioned that yesterday, but you're right. They started to share an image of a guy. We don't know if it's true or not, but we just saw the image floating around social media yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. And well, they had an interview with his father, who said how he found her and so on, An
interview with whose father? The
girl's father, Mercedes' father. There was an interview with him on site, because I got a glimpse of that in the news last night. I watched a little bit of the news, and they had an interview with him on site last week. Is it on the news or on Facebook? I saw it. Anyway, I did see an interview with the father, and he's speaking about his last moments with her. He would have seen her like a week before, and so on. So
that's any parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah. But that story is troubling on so many fronts. You know what I mean? So many fronts, it's troubling.
Yeah. They always think you'll outlive your children. I mean, your children outlive you.
Outlive you, yes.
Yeah, because it's like you're passing the baton.
Mm-hmm.
And then and especially in a situation where a child has been so vulnerable and met their death in such a horrible and tragic circumstance, you will go through in your mind mentally, what she went through, why I wasn't there to protect her, and all those things you're gonna play in your mind. You're gonna play. Yeah.
And thanks for reminding us, Chris, to say Robert Greenidge passed. He was an icon in the pan community, of course, with Desperados, and he was well known as an arranger and steel pan pioneer. I don't know what was his age, but I've heard about Robert Greenidge. You didn't hear about him for a little while, but he passed, I think, yesterday. All right? And Clyde Toussey was your uncle. Okay, so remember I asked that the other day about Facebook. Why can't Facebook find a way of deleting people's profiles after they have passed? So thanks for that correction, Chris Toussey. Robert Clyde passed a year ago. Right. Yes. So those are some of the trends. Let's do good news. That's it, Charles. Let's get it out of the way. Let's do it early so that we could change the mood, my mood, and greet some folks.
Imagine waking up every day knowing that your best life is just one step away from the hardships you're facing now. Life can be tough, and sometimes it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But remember, it's in these moments of struggle that your true strength shines. Every storm eventually passes, and with each challenge you overcome, you grow stronger and wiser. When you're having a bad day, take a deep breath and remind yourself that this too shall pass. Your current situation is not your final destination. Small steps forward, even on the hardest days, lead to significant progress over time. Embrace each day as a new opportunity to rise above your circumstances. Surround yourself with love and positivity. Lean on those who care about you, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Remember, it's okay to not be okay. Give yourself grace, be kind to yourself, and find solace in knowing that brighter days are ahead. Keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time. Your best life is waiting just beyond the horizon.
Yeah.
All right.
This meeting. So that is just to pick you up this morning, to make you feel. If you're feeling down, I mean, there's a lot to make you feel down, but there's quite a bit to be thankful for also, Before we move on, Wendell, let me just send another happy birthday that's coming in. So good morning to Sachin Wilson, who's celebrating his birthday today. So Sachin, we want to wish you a happy birthday today. Also, its friends, Jessica Frank, Amelia, Daniela, Daniel, Kareem, and Chanel. I don't know if all of those are celebrating birthdays, but hey, if all of you all are celebrating birthdays at the same time, have a good one. But Sachin, yeah, you have a good one, my friend.
All right, let's go straight to the chat to greet some people. Richard, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Robert Allen came in at 11:49 p.m. That's yesterday. Good morning to the breakfast crew. We jamming again. Give them performance. Oh, and there was international news this morning. I saw with Donald Trump attending the basketball game, and they were at the crowd of people booing him. Oh God! And I think they lost that. So of course they're blaming him for the loss. He blighted the team. I stand corrected on that. Valerie Mendoza, good morning to the breakfast crew, breakfast team. Beefy Smith from Goodwood and Tobago, Ava Smith, Odell Guy, Scorpion Pepper, bright and early at 4:48. Eunice Dublin at 4:54. Kenny and Harlem, Margaret Thomas, Diane Payne, Felix Kozo says, good morning to the Breakfast Show team and family. Tuesday blessings to all. Marlon Motley also says, good morning.
Good morning, Marlon.
Michael Eastman, Erica Charles says, thank God for sparing our lives to see another beautiful day. Arlene Lewis, Carol Guevara, Trinman, Prabha Ramdial, Pamela O'Connor, Apollonius, Deborah Noel Surrett, Manuela Peters, Michael Cadet, Empress Reyes Lal, Kathy Ann Charles, also saying special good morning to Arlene and Stephen, Merle McComey, Marcia Rock, Debbie Modest, Garvin Frank, Susie B says, when will we see a turnaround in our beautiful TNT? Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona, Larry Charles out there by QRC, Empress Reyes Lal, a man does love his belly, yeah? Pot 5, okay. I think that has to do with the tune. Andrea John, good morning, guys. Great morning program. Empress is chatting this morning. Magic says, grand rising. Boy Bidesi. CJ from New York is dancing. Kurt Hope from Nashville, Tennessee. Estelita Sampson, good morning, gentlemen. This TV is like some people here today, gone tomorrow. Have you not seen us? I'm not sure. I don't have it on. Wayne Ramsey says, good morning, guys. Taran C. Prasad, another person is cussing Prime Minister and Hindu religion. How evil can people be? Trinidad, Margot, Maria Cellier, Claire Lendo Rollins, Doreen Pierre, Joyce Phillip, Alistair Hart, Mrs. R, Chris Toussaint. Yes, Clyde Toussaint was my uncle. He passed 1 year ago. And he confirms Robert Greenwich was 76 years old. Sankofa, same miraculous healing, graces, and blessings to grieving families. Carla Hercules says, good morning. David McCarthy, Kim Govaya, and Johnson Noel. Those are the greetings I have on the chat.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Lots and lots of greetings there this morning, Wendell.
Yep.
So good morning to Zena and the Powder Puff Girls, or ladies, who came in very early this morning. Also to Miss St. Augustine, blessed day. Peter Wilson, St. James. Yes, Peter, you're so right. So once again, happy birthday to Sachin. CJ out there in New York, continue to dance. Frank out there in Aruka, good morning. Mahi, who is back in New Jersey today, good morning to you. Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada. They getting ready for the big World Cup. Nice, nice. Fifi out there in Ethiopia, good morning. Mr. Billy, Powder Magazine people, Kent in Laventille. Chris, thank you very much for the information. Brenda out there in Penal, good morning to you. Rena Boodoo Jennings, and also Ingrid in Arizona, and also good morning to Miss Sampson. Yeah, lots of greetings. All right, so we're going for the break kind of early this morning, so that's good. 25 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. Stay with us this morning on The Breakfast Show. Pick yourself up. We're coming back.
Get ready.
The road to football's biggest stage starts right here on NETT Radio and Gael TV. Join us for Inside the Net, the road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights. Every weekday, take a journey through World Cup history, legendary players, unforgettable goals, football's greatest nations, rising stars, iconic stadiums, and the stories behind the beautiful game. From Brazil to Argentina, Germany to France, and every nation chasing football glory. Join us daily at 7:55 a.m. and 11:55 a.m. Don't just watch the World Cup, live the passion. Inside the Net, road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights.
Are you taking care of your sexual health and overall well-being? At Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, we believe your confidence, wellness, and intimacy matter. Visit us at our convenient locations: 10 Carmody Street, St. Augustine, Edinburgh, Chaguanas, Shops of Day Bay, 95 Circular Road, Vista Bella, Docks Ranch Light Pole 51, SS Aaron Road, Penal, and Metro Hotel, Suite 1, Number 2 Knoll Street North, Couva. From relaxing massage services to professional guidance on sexual wellness, we are here to support you every step of the way. Consult with renowned sexologist Dr. Raj Ramnanan for expert advice tailored to your needs. Take the first step toward a healthier, more confident you. Call 285-9739 or 645-4543 to book your appointment today. Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, where wellness meets confidence.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Gaylan and the Ultimate DJ Shane presents the Reggae Ride 26.
Them still want more.
A touch of red, white, gold, and green. Come out with your crew. Represent your color. Get ready for pure reggae vibes on June 27th on board the Harbour Master. Boarding 11 p.m. and sailing at midnight. For over 20 years, the Reggae Ride has delivered the best reggae experience. Music by DJ Damien, Ever Slick, DJ Junior, Gaylan, and the Ultimate DJ Shane. Get your advance tickets only $250 at Agard's Nuts House and City Furniture Stores nationwide or on islandnytickets.com.
Remember the song, used to make you rock away. Those were good days.
Powered by Agard's Nuts House, City Furniture, Tokopia Hotel and Lounge, Cricket Land Academy. The Reggae Ride 26, a touch of red, white, gold, and green.
Just a little bit longer, baby. Oh, my love keeps growing stronger.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
All right. Of course, we could get straight into the news. Let me just greet some more people who came on the chat. Robert Taylor, who says he has welcomed his 7th grandchild into the world yesterday. His name is Azariah. I think that's how you pronounce it. So, congratulations, Robert. Sankofa Melchizedek says, good morning, Margarita Chow. Robert Harper, morning, Robert. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. And Subash in Woodland. All right, those are the people who joined us. So good morning to you all. And we get straight into the news headlines. Autopsy, Mercedes died from blunt force trauma. That's the main story. Call for PH taxi drivers to be legalized. And we would have polled that already. Maybe we could poll it again sometime. Russian quality tests, that's football. Angus backs France. Angus Eve backs France. Okay, that's interesting. I actually supported France last World Cup after Italy make a mess. Car stalls on Beetham Highway. Bandits come for occupants. Dad in tears after autopsy on daughter Mercedes. Truck and taxi in Gasparillo accident. I think that caused a hell of a traffic jam yesterday on the south/northbound lanes. Driver burns to death in crashed car. WPC charged over alleged fake CXC certificates. And of course, we might have missed it that a civilian employee of the police administration also committed suicide over the weekend. And it's not in the news, but I know it was trending yesterday. A referee, the top African referee football referee in Africa, was banned from entering the United States and turned back. Omar thing. He's from Somalia. He was turned back by the United States authorities. So I don't know how is that going to be resolved. But Omar head to Canada because there's hundreds, thousands of Somalians in Canada. I've never seen any in America, but I've seen hundreds of Somalians in Canada. Go there. They're football there. Go to your country. Maybe Africa made a mistake by sending it to America and not to Canada. Right? So those are some of the stories trending in Express Online.
And I'll go to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning. SOE alarm trade unions. Tobago Association warns government against extending emergency powers for another 3 months, but other players support move. That's one of the main stories. Burnt body found inside vehicle in Wallerfield. Hotel and tourism boss warns Tobago MPs about supporting SOE extension. Warner, a country cannot thrive under SOEs indefinitely. Autopsy confirms Mercedes was beaten to death. So that's the main stories. In terms of business news, a lot of it is from the same things from yesterday. China opens Blue Silk Road to Caribbean. Tobago's future depends on investment, not stagnation. Chagaramas looks forward to sail clear. And in terms of government moves to boost pensions for protective services in acting positions. In sports, Andrew Ogis Springer recall for T201 series against Sri Lanka. Cannot backs Curacao, Haiti against World Cup Goliaths. Walken and Balfour depart for historic World Cup of Darts appearance. Ahi Webster triple gold, Duvernay shine at Dion Lindor Classic, and billiards in TNT in good hands. And that's basically it in terms of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning, in terms of trending news in business, sports, and regular news.
All right. I'm still trying to process that story with Mercedes, I'm still trying to process. Anyway, David Reyes, good morning. And so Carlisle Cupid also, good morning. And Red Fire, thanks for joining us on the breakfast show. All right.
State of emergency obviously is ramping up as a topic of discussion and the extension of it. So obviously there is beginning, the society is obviously starting to push back on these extensions. So you're getting more and more voices now, including business. Not everybody, but including business and including trade unions who were not previously very vocal about it, starting to give some pushback to the government on the issue. And even Jack Warner, of course, pushing back and saying, well, you can't have SOEs indefinitely because SOEs were never meant to be any part of crime fighting. It's not a crime fighting tool. I've said that from whenever it started. I have said that, and I've been consistent over the years. That's not what an SOE is for. But apparently, the security services like SOEs, they love it.
But why? Because what are they doing different?
Because it gives them leeway when they're...
But what are they doing different, Richard, to what they would have done under normal circumstances?
It gives them
the PDO?
They don't have to be bothered with warrants and stuff like that.
That's what it is about? PDOs? A minister signing off and saying, lock up this one, keep him there, or she there?
It's not just about PDOs, it's about the access it gives them in terms of going wherever they want to go without the jurisdiction of the court in terms of warrants and stuff like that.
But they were doing that anyway.
No, they have to get warrant. Yes.
And more times they would use it as an excuse. They would use running in a place as an excuse that they're pursuing somebody. There no warrant needed for that.
Not true. Many times they do get the warrants.
No, I didn't say they were not getting warrants, But I'm saying in the absence of a warrant, they would just simply say, well, we were pursuing somebody.
No, that's still not true. They would get warrants. You're suggesting something that is not necessarily true. What if you are?
I'm suggesting that nothing is different now. I'm stating nothing is different now than how the security forces operated back then, Richard. Nothing, except for these PDOs, where every day, I think yesterday, the minister signed off on 40-something more, and they're just locking up people again.
Right.
That's what they do.
So
and it is not having a single dent on the crime.
It gives them, well, they're going to disagree with you, but it gives them the power to do that, one. It gives them the power with no access to warrants. It gives them the power to restrict protests across the country. That's what it does. And that's why trade unions are starting to push back, because one of the main places that you protest is in Woodford Square. And that's now not accessible. So yes, there are consequences.
I didn't say there are no consequences. As a matter of fact, I support you in the fact that SOE can't help with crime, and it's a waste of time. I support that statement, But I must be really so fed up of people and this place now that it must be coming out. It must be not just oozing out of me this morning. It must be exploding out of me this morning. Yeah. I am fed up of Trinidad and Tobago. Fed up. I'm fed up of these politicians. Fed up. You understand? Fed up. I'm fed up of the spite and vindictiveness that is taking place in this place. I'm fed up of selfishness. I'm fed up of ungratefulness. I'm fed up of so many things lately.
You're just getting older. That's just a sign of getting older.
No, I don't think so.
It is. Ask all the older people in the stream. There's plenty of them in the stream there, There's plenty of them in the stream there. Ask them.
Yesterday, news came to that the Sealands fishing depot, after 40 plus years, is going to be closed down. Why? What is that for? I think I saw the Minister of Agriculture paying a visit to them. I think in the news it said that he promised he will fix it. So why we had to reach? Everything is almost like if is people just spiting people now. That's how the whole society coming across. Like if it's just people spiting people now. You understand? That's how this place is coming across. Use and spite.
But where you saw that story in the news last night? Or?
Yes. That was on TV6 News last night. That was one of the stories too last night about the Sealands depot, fishing depot. What's the reason for it? What's the real reason for it?
Is not Sealands area, and I'm subject to correction, Wendell. Isn't that whole Sealands area part of the revitalization project?
Oh, Christ. You look, if I was closer, I'd pinch you or flick your ear.
No, I'm asking.
But that was since way back then, and so
it was under Patrick Manning.
That was saying since way back.
So, yeah, but it was under Patrick Manning, so I don't know if it's because of that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. What, they were talking about putting an airport or some kind of thing. That's history, Richard.
They were putting an airport in Sealands?
And they were thinking of putting an airport there somewhere there at one time?
I don't know. I can't remember that.
Huh.
That memory escapes me, but okay.
I think that was the purpose of that development plan back then by Mr. Manning.
To put an airport in Sealands?
Either airport or the port. One of the two. Some sort of port.
It's so strange to put an airport there unless you really want West people never to go past the lighthouse. Well, they just have to go a few meters past it to go to the airport. Is that the intention?
It was some sort of port, whether it's an airport or seaport. Something was going. That was the plan for that area there, because of where it was situated. In the heart of Port of Spain too, But Anyway, what is the point now of closing the fishing depot? I don't know. Maybe I missed that on the news, that there's a reason for closing down the fish depot after how much ever years. I think they also had an interview. They had comments from Scotland and from the mayor. You know, I just stoops.
Who is Stoops that? Mr. Scotland or the mayor?
I stoops at the news.
Oh, okay, sorry. I wasn't clear.
You can just say, Wendell, why are you sounding so hopeless? This place is hopeless, beauty culture. And I've not hidden that fact before. I've said it before. The TTPS is hopeless. You understand? And Trinidad is fast becoming hopeless. I've said that many times before. And I continue to say.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago can't be hopeless. I wouldn't subscribe to that.
Okay.
Trinidad and Tobago is hopeless. No.
Okay. All right. Well, you'll come back and tell me something, because you just said there are no more voices rising up against what's happening. Why are they rising up, Richard? Because they're starting to feel like how I'm feeling.
Well, there's pushback against the security services and how they're utilizing the state of emergency powers. And I don't have to rehash what we would have said last week concerning that and why those constitutional protections are important. I get it that some citizens are quite willing to give it up until it comes home to roost at their door. But you have to see the bigger picture. And if you are lazy in not wanting to see the bigger picture, then I can't help you. That's for you to have some sort of intellectual rigor in terms of understanding societies and understanding world history about when states have too much power, what happens. If you don't want to involve yourself in that, then that's a personal choice. But
I don't think they care. I really don't think they care. And I said this the other day. And so I said, we have reached a stage where the people in charge don't care.
You mean the politicians?
Yeah. They don't care.
Well, I don't it's hard to read because a lot of the, you know what is strange about this administration? It's hard, I hear what you're saying, Wendell, and it's hard to read because the majority of the current politicians, not all, but the vast majority of them are not accessible for proper questions from the press. They have shielded themselves off. So they are one of the most standoffish governments that I have experienced as a citizen. You don't see them sitting and talking. Very few of them take interviews. Maybe they take interviews with other. Well, I don't even think they take interviews at all. There are very few of them that take interviews, and so it has become the government that is the least transparent in terms of questions from the Fourth Estate. That's my interpretation of them. You're free to disagree.
No, you're spot on. I mean, we know the problems we have had trying to get people on our show. You understand? I don't hear them on any other show. You know what I mean? You don't see when you follow them, you just see them, a camera person following them around and reporting for work and doing this and doing that, and that's what you see.
and I don't know why they would think. Obviously, it seems to be an identifiable strategy on their part, and I don't know why they think that's a good strategy in a democracy. I don't know why they think that's some sort of benefit. Intellectually, it doesn't. I don't understand what's the thinking behind that strategy of obfuscation, so to speak. We say nothing, and so therefore we don't. I suppose we don't make mistakes. So I don't know what it is, but it's kind of simplistic. And you're in a democracy where you are accountable to the citizens that have elected you. You are you are answerable or accountable to citizens, whether they elected you or not, because you deal with taxpayers' money. I think a lot of times politicians think, and this is both the PNM and the UNC Wendell, I think a lot of times politicians think that once they're in power, they are not answerable to all citizens. They think they're only answerable to their party faithful. And that's a fundamental mistake that parties make. You are answerable to all of us, and you are accountable to all of us.
I don't know if you're going to put the PNM in that, simply because we had a prime minister, Dr. Rowley Pryor, that made himself available to the media every single opportunity he got.
He did.
He made himself more than any other prime minister before him.
I agree with that. He was also intimidating to it.
Well, he was, but still, he made himself available. He made himself available.
I am saying, yes, I agree with you, and he was the most accessible prime minister, as far as I know. In terms of, well, I mean, it's not that we had 300 prime ministers. We only had, what, 4? 5? 5.
Like we had Mr. Manning twice, and we now have Kamala Prasad-Bissessar twice.
Well, it's not that we have a huge, history of many prime ministers, because we're not that old as an independent country. But yes, but still, a lot of times, I still hold to that politicians feel a lot of times they're not accountable to all citizens. They feel they're accountable to their party faithful. Because that's who elected you. But you're accountable to all of us, whether we voted for you or not. And that's how you should rule. And you should rule, and in another way too, you should rule about part of ruling as a government. Not that they need any advice from me, because they all have a certain amount of hubris. But part of it, one of the fundamentals to me of leadership is how do the policies that I enact or the laws I enact, how do they make my citizens or facilitate prosperity in my citizens? And how do they make life easier for my citizens? How do they basically make my citizens happier? Simple concepts, right? But it gets morphed into the hubris of when people sit around conference tables to make decisions, right? And they start to feel things left, right, and center. I talked about my opinion about the landlord tax and why it's unwieldy and silly, because I know about sitting around those conference tables, as I told you before, and you make all of these decisions, and if it was prefaced with how does this facilitate prosperity of citizens? How does this make my citizens happier? And in terms of their life and them being invested in the country and the life of the country. Because the happier you are, the more invested you are in the place that you live, right? If those fundamental, simple concepts were the backbone, you would make better decisions. But it's not. It becomes tied up in ego about what you feel you could do, and because you're in this position, or you feel you could do this, or feel you could do that, and then it gets riddled with spite and hatred. I don't like that one, I don't like this one, and it becomes mired in the stagnation of human behavior, and a lot of the times in the unhealthy parts of human behavior, rather than just focusing on those simple concepts. And if you had to narrow it down to one, how do I make my citizens happier?
Look,
and
we reading.
Policy directions are in that line.
We were reading yesterday. I think there was an article yesterday talking about the upcoming media review, and the fact that they're going to, is it tax or what are they going to do with coconut? People who produce coconut products and vinegar. Where did that story go? I saw it.
The fines for that.
They're going to increase it.
Why?
Because maybe more people are breaking the law.
Government hikes.
You know what is weird? You know what is weird about that? It's not even something that citizens even think about. That you're going around and saying, oh my God, there's so many people selling illegal coconut oil and illegal vinegar. That's not even the inkling of a thought in any citizen's mind across the country.
No.
That's the point I'm making.
None.
That's the point I'm making.
I'm saying zero. One citizen has passed somebody selling coconut oil vinegar and said, oh my God, they're breaking the law. Like how Sir Charles just piped the thing there. But they're breaking the law.
Yeah.
Nobody thought about that. None.
I never said they were breaking the law, you know.
You just said that?
No, I didn't say that's breaking the law.
You said no, maybe they're breaking the law. You
All
just
right,
said that.
That's not fair, you know. And
I'm just saying, not one citizen that has entered any citizen's mind. They just look at this as entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I wonder if coconut oil good. Just like you pass by people, I wonder if your honey good, but they're coming for the honey makers just now. Or I wonder, well, I'm plenty people making honey.
I'm telling you.
And I wonder if your honey good or if your honey genuine, because you always, you know, honey always like, is it the best honey?
It comes across almost like if Levy just punish this place. That's how it's coming across.
It's weird. I find that whole system of coconut oil and vinegar thing is weird. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And you know where it came from? Sitting around a conference table with hubris and arrogance and saying, let me see who we could get.
Where we can get money, where we can get money from. Did you know people? And we are back, right? Hold on.
It is the loneliest country in the world, with no neighboring countries within a radius of 1,600 kilometers. To go to any country from here, you have to cross the vast ocean. Here, there are 20 times more sheep than people, and it is called the sheep country. It is New Zealand. To the north and east of New Zealand is the vast Pacific Ocean. To the south is Antarctica, the end of the world. And to the west is Australia. New Zealand is also the only country in the world without snakes, and it is also the first place on Earth to greet the sunrise. Although the entire country of New Zealand has a population of only more than 5 million, it is a well-developed country, and its beef, mutton, and dairy products are world-renowned. The scenery of New Zealand is also uniquely beautiful. The movies The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings were filmed here. Here you can see the dreamy aurora, the amazing Wetomo Cave, the clear blue Lake Wanaka. Explore the magnificent Mount Cook Glacier on foot. Take a boat through the eighth wonder of the world, Milford Sound. Pick up lost Antarctic penguins and enjoy one of the most beautiful starry skies in the world. If you're not following, you might never see us again. But if you are, congratulations, you're learning something new every day.
Morning to New Zealand.
To who?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
What it is there now, night?
Yeah, it has to be New Zealand. New Zealand would be about what, 16 hours ahead or something like that?
Yeah, it'll be something in night there now.
Yeah. And good evening to Japan and good afternoon to Ethiopia. All right.
I will listen to a couple calls.
Yeah, open up the lines and take some calls.
So 281-131-529-95156. As we take your calls, caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, Charlie.
Morning, Miss Sampson.
Good morning, Richard and Wendell. I have a question.
Morning.
Do you think that the present government think that they will be there for the rest of their lives? And you think they are thinking, should they not win the next general election, are they thinking of what will happen to them after they've spewed all this race and hate? When the shoe is on their feet, what will they do? Are they thinking about that?
No.
It seems like they're not thinking about, you're not there forever. Make people happy. I don't be out there and I am so disgusted and fed up. Much more for people who really feeling it and really out there.
You know why they're not? Yeah, sorry.
Like they only lie down and say, cha-ching, cha-ching. You all have a good day.
Yeah. You know why they're probably not thinking about it? Because they know that if the government changes, it'll probably go back to the PNM, and the PNM will spend the next 5 years saying they did this, they did that, and nothing is going to change. Because look what happened when Dr. Rowley and them were in opposition between 2010 and 2015. The People's Partnership government was on record as probably the most corrupt government that ever passed through Trinidad and Tobago. And they said it. When they got into power, what happened? Nothing. The same set of people come back now in power. So you feel they're watching that? You feel the politicians don't know the pattern by now? That no other party going and do anything about the other party? You feel they don't know that?
Oh. Good morning, Kuala.
Let me calm down.
Ladies and gentlemen, North Virginia, front and center via
Morning.
Hey, I see the perspectives, maybe from the outside looking in, I could give a better appreciation, but I see the counterpoints between Richard and Wendell about the situation. I can hear and feel, and I can empathize with Wendell's frustration. And then I definitely also can see the logic with what Richard is saying. The statement he made, where you are most happier, you make the best investment. I'm not paraphrasing, but I think I'm along the right lines, right? I made a decision because the opportunities presented itself and because of other frustrations. I made a decision to where I am right now, okay? And Wendell, as I said, I can empathize because, look, at the local government level, the people that are involved in local government are much more on the pulse and in touch with the constituents and the individuals in society than those who may sit in, whether it's in White House, or whether it is in Congress or whether it is in Parliament. So, and therefore, that's where I'm coming with that. And this SOE, guess what? It's the reality, folks. It's not just UNC people saying this, but even when I say UNC people, the average voter, but even PNM folks are saying that they are not criminals, they don't mind, they can continue the SOE forever. But Richard has a valid point, because the checks and balances in our constitution is to protect us from those who are supposed to protect us, because they don't always follow the law to the letter when it comes to doing their duties, right? So I see both sides of the perspective here. And to Robert Greenidge, man, God bless his soul. I was dragged along by a friend of mine to a Jimmy Buffett concert, and with that, that's Robert Greenidge. It's the two of us, like Robert Jr. If it's any piece that the world know about Trinidad, and by the way, just the two of us is a song that about Trinidad and Tobago. Robert Greenidge, that piece that he plays in Just the Two of Us is the best known steel band solo. One of the best known. I wouldn't say the best known. Okay? So, when I end up at a Jimmy Buffett concert, all the white people like to, but any kind of music. But then I say, hey, that's Robert Greenidge, So I had the honor of meeting Mr. Greenidge, and God bless his heart. And by the way, I don't know who advised Trump to go to Madison Square Garden in the heart of enemy country. And I say enemy country, you talk about, I call it Laventille East, New York, right? Because you're not popular there. Who are you listening to? Who advising him? When in New York, right now they want to say the word mother and father. Imagine we have more important things to worry about in different states. And in New York, they want to make it that against the law to refer to a father as a father and a mother as a mother. A gestated male, a gestated female, and a non-gestated male. I mean, is that crazy? Republicans have lost their way, but Democrats definitely lose their mind. Anyway, guys, have a good morning. God bless. Cheers.
Whew, a lot to process there, Virginia. First to begin with, who advised him? He's the president. New York was never so inconvenient for a basketball game as they were recently. You understand? But who are Egypt? All right. I saw some comments here that I wanted to highlight. Dean Allen says, Wendell, I truly feel there is a silent agreement between the political elite not to open the door on political corruption. It is a slippery slope. I agree. Carlisle Cupid also said another thing that I agreed with. The UNC has their supporters in their pockets, so they can do anything. They have no price to pay for the arrogance and incompetence that they display openly. I also agree with that. I've said it many times. They don't lose a single vote. Not a single vote. Between 10-10 and 2015, after all those accusations, they still got 17 seats, 18 seats. After that 5 years, first 5 years of Dr. Rowley government with handling COVID and so on, UNC increased the seat back to 19. So they don't lose. They don't lose a seat, regardless. Anyway, our poll is up, people. Can we win the war on crime using the state of emergency? If you're voting yes, you put 1. If you're voting 2, you put no, you put 2. All right? Can we, now listen to the question properly here. Can we win the war on crime using the state of emergency? Yes or no? All right? That's our poll this morning, right? Lots of votes coming in already. Sir Charles, we'll break for the news, and when we come back, we'll deal with the poll. All right?
Beautiful.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on NETT Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. The father of murdered 12-year-old Mercedes Lane broke down in tears today after an autopsy confirmed she died from blunt force trauma to the head. Ronald Cabrera said no punishment could erase the pain of losing his daughter, questioning whether any sentence could ever bring her back. Mercedes, a pupil of Erin R.C. Primary School, was reported missing on Saturday. Her partially clothed body was discovered near an oil well along Carapal Road, Erin, on Sunday morning. A 24-year-old man from Palo Seco remains in police custody as investigations continue. The killing has shocked the nation and prompted renewed calls for stronger measures to protect children. The government is proposing changes to pension rules that would allow police, prison, and fire officers to retire with benefits based on higher acting positions they held before retirement. The measure is contained in the Finance Bill 2026, laid in Parliament by Finance Minister Devendranath Thakur. Under the proposal, officers who served continuously in a higher post for at least 1 year, but less than 3 years, immediately before retirement, would have their pensions and gratuities calculated using the salary of that higher office. The move aims to address a long-standing issue where officers spend years performing higher duties in an acting capacity, but retire without receiving the full benefits attached to those positions. The Financial Intelligence Unit of Trinidad and Tobago is warning the public about fraudulent identification cards being used by individuals falsely claiming to represent the FIUTT, the Central Bank, and the Financial Investigations Branch. According to the FIUTT, the fake IDs identify holders as financial analyst supervisors and are not issued or authorized by any of the agencies. The FIUTT stressed that anyone presenting these credentials has no authority to conduct business, make enquiries, or request information on behalf of the agencies. Members of the public are being urged not to provide money, personal or financial information to anyone using the fake IDs and to report any such incidents to police or the relevant authorities immediately. A 40-year-old man was burnt beyond recognition after his car crashed and burst into flames along the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway early Thursday morning. Police identified the victim as Jason Small of Sheriff Street, Tunapuna. Officers responded to reports of a crash around 5:30 a.m. and found a blue Nissan Versa lodged in a ditch near BM Electronics warehouse along the eastbound lane of the highway. Investigators said Small, who was alone in the vehicle, lost control around 4:50 a.m. The car struck a culvert, became airborne and landed in the ditch, where it caught fire and trapped him inside. Fire officers later extinguished the blaze, while police and crime scene investigators processed the scene. In crime news, police are investigating a robbery along the Beetham Highway after 2 young men were attacked when their vehicle broke down early Saturday morning. The victims were robbed of cash and personal documents after being approached by 2 armed men near the Beetham landfill. Meanwhile, Special Reserve Police Officer Lauren Thomas has been granted $200,000 bail on charges of forgery and misbehavior in public office. Investigators allege she submitted invalid CXC certificates as part of a process to become a regular police officer. And in Claxton Bay, an 18-year-old man was arrested after police allegedly found him hiding in bushes with items believed stolen from 2 homes. Officers recovered electronics, jewelry, and cash following the early morning incidents. Finally, the United States will introduce a new premium service for business and tourist visa applicants, allowing faster interview appointments for an additional fee. Under a pilot program starting July 1st, applicants can pay US $750 on top of the standard $185 visa fee to secure an interview within 10 days at selected U.S. embassies and consulates. The program will run until December 31st and may be extended depending on demand. U.S. officials say the service is optional and does not guarantee visa approval. The move comes as applicants continue to face lengthy wait times and tighter immigration screening measures introduced under the Trump administration. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
Oh
into NETT Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Yeah, you get all that and more right here on NETT Radio. The best music, the best talk, all in one place. Yeah, I tell you, very fortunate. All in one place. Only one I have giving it to you, so don't bring it back in pieces, right? You can add to it, but don't bring it back in pieces. Hey everybody, good morning to you once again. Welcome inside the second hour, the breakfast show right here on NETT Radio. The heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. Good morning to everybody coming in all around the spaces. Thank you very much for being here. My Anthem crew, good morning to you. All the other people who came in along the way, it's so good to have you. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you to the people at Gaia Caribbean TV. Gaia, good morning. Good morning. And of course, just to let you know that when we come off of the Gaia feed and of course our social media pages as we get closer to 9 o'clock, well, you will be able to join us at netradiott.com. Yeah, don't forget that, netradiott.com. You come across, and of course that way you're able to listen to us all day, and you're also able to listen to us every day. Don't forget to check out our social media pages, and of course we are streaming on a number of platforms. So if you're on TuneIn, Radio Garden, Online Radio Box, MyTuner, Simple Radio, all of your favorite platforms. Yeah, you don't have to come off your platform. All you have to do is look for NETT Radio Trinidad, and you will be able to hook us up, right? Of course, just tell your smart devices to play NETT Radio Trinidad also, and you're good to go. You're good to go. But make sure you put your stamp on all our pages. If you have not done so as yet, please take some time to go across to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and especially TikTok. Like, subscribe, and follow the pages, right? Yeah, especially the TikTok page. I want you to make a little trip to TikTok, please. Please, I'm begging all your heart. All right, so our morning poll question, we asked you, do you think, or can we win that war on crime using a state of emergency? Yes or no, you vote. If you vote in yes, you put in 1. If you vote in no, you put in 2. And we will tell you how you voted when we come back after the break. And also, we will take your calls and your comments on the poll. All right? Of course, the World Cup is coming up in a couple days' time. Yeah. Kicks off on Thursday. Yeah. And of course, we have our World Cup insights. Just bring a little history facts on the World Cup. Well, you can look out for that twice daily at 7:55 a.m. and also at 11:55 a.m. for our World Cup insights. Yeah. So stick around, and we will be back shortly.
Get ready. The road to football's biggest stage starts right here on NETT Radio and Gaia TV. Join us for Inside the Net, the road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights. Every weekday, take a journey through World Cup history, legendary players, unforgettable goals, football's greatest nations, rising stars, iconic stadiums, and the stories behind the beautiful game. From Brazil to Argentina, Germany to France, and every nation chasing football glory. Join us daily at 7:55 a.m. and 11:55 a.m. Don't just watch the World Cup, live the passion. Inside the Net, road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights.
Are you taking care of your sexual health and overall well-being? At Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, we believe your confidence, wellness, and intimacy matter. Visit us at our convenient locations: 10 Carmody Street, St. Augustine, Edinburgh, Chaguanas, Shops of Day Bay, 95 Circular Road, Vista Bella, Docks Ranch Light Pole 51, SS Aaron Road, Penal, and Metro Hotel, Suite 1, Number 2 Knoll Street North, Couva. From relaxing massage services to professional guidance on sexual wellness, we are here to support you every step of the way. Consult with renowned sexologist Dr. Raj Ramnanan for expert advice tailored to your needs. Take the first step toward a healthier, more confident you. Call 285-9739 or 645-4543 to book your appointment today. Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, where wellness meets confidence.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Gaylan and the Ultimate DJ Shane presents the Reggae Ride 26. A touch of red, white, gold, and green. Come out with your crew. Represent your color. Get ready for pure reggae vibes on June 27th on board the Harbour Master. Boarding 11 p.m. and sailing at midnight. For over 20 years, the Reggae Ride has delivered the best reggae experience. Music by DJ Damien, Ever Slick, DJ Junior, Gaylan, and the Ultimate DJ Shane. Get your advance tickets only $250 at Agard's Nuts House and City Furniture Stores nationwide or on islandnytickets.com.
Remember the song, used to make you rock away. Always for a good day.
Powered by Agard's Nuts House, City Furniture, Tokopia Hotel and Lounge, Cricket Land Academy. The Reggae Ride 26, a touch of red, white, gold, and green.
Just a little bit longer, baby. Oh, my love keeps growing stronger.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
All right, we are back. We are back from our 7 o'clock news. I'm seeing some disturbing videos of Senegalese players arriving in America, being searched on the tarmac, scanned and searched on the tarmac, and I think players from Uzbekistan also face that. Why these people go in America? Why did they have the entire World Cup in Canada and Mexico? Why are they having a World Cup in America? Ah, Lord. Especially under this current president. They should have cancelled it. Are you guys there? I'm not hearing them. Oh, okay. I was wondering if I was talking to myself or what.
You do that all the time.
I do it more often than not now. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's when you can keep your own company, you know.
I love keeping my own company, as a matter of fact. You know?
I don't think they envisioned when the United States was chosen. When was it chosen?
It would have been chosen prior to Donald Trump coming back into office. I'm almost certain about it.
So they would not have thought that the United States would have gotten so closed in terms of its policies, because it has gotten pretty closed and has become a United States in a kind of way that the rest of the world does not know because it was never like that before. So it's new for the rest of the world. So it's like, wow, America has become, visibly, I don't know how to say it now. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's, but not a friendly place. Let's put it that way.
No. Yeah, no.
The United States has become not a friendly place to a lot of people looking on the outside, looking at the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they've gotten very homophobic too.
Well, that's a Republican Party kind of thing too.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know how they're going to make out with that World Cup. I wish them. I mean, at the end of the day, football fans are going to go to football. Nothing is going to stop them. You know what I mean? They're going to go. So
the immigration at the United States can stop them.
Yeah. I mean, the football fans who are already there.
If it's stopping officials like referees and stuff.
Yeah, but the football fans who already exist in that part of America, wherever the games are played, they're going to go. Yeah, they're going to go. They're going to go.
Yeah.
You know? Mm. Yeah, USA got into football, don't forget, in 1990. What was the match? What was the match that they beat us here? That was their first foray into football, when we were supposed to qualify and we didn't. What match was that? Hey, why am I forgetting that year? Anyway, only remind me now. The year when USA beat us here in the national stadium. That was their first 89. Right, 89. I said 90. But the World Cup was 90. Right. Yeah. So 89. That was their first foray into football. They didn't qualify for a World Cup before that. It was either us or them, and they got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And since then, they feel like they own football. Of course, it's called soccer there. It's not football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is called soccer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. So let's go. Our poll, let's take some calls on the poll now, people. Our poll is up. Can we win the war on crime using the state of emergency? Yes or no? That's our poll this morning. Can we win the war on crime? Lots of chat about different other issues, but lots of votes also too, So let's take your calls now on the poll. I'm trying to.
Yeah. So people call us at 281-315-299-5156, right? Issues of the poll.
Yeah. I'm trying to go through the statements to see if I get anything on the poll, but mostly people are speaking about other things. But this issue of Wayne Sturge wanting to sue Marvin Gonzalez too for saying that he allegedly consorted with drug lords. Say he had a drug party and they funded by drug lords and things. Then she said, I'm missing something or what? I'm missing something, Wayne Sturge. Ah, Lord. You see why I'm getting fed up now, people? Anyway.
Yeah, so...
Do you have any calls there, Sir Charles?
Yeah, caller, good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning, Richard.
Morning.
Morning.
The state of emergency means it's not really making sense. I believe, in my opinion, that it's being used as a form of a blanket to hide it behind, so that when the government are called to account for certain things they're not doing for the citizens of this country, you cannot protest, you cannot voice your opinion, you cannot raise any concerns publicly. It's the state of emergency that they are using now. It has nothing to do with crime. My view is that they are using that as a blanket, for want of a better word, to hide behind, because even in Parliament, the opposition cannot represent the citizens of this country, right? The Prime Minister is not coming out and having any sort of dialogue with the nation, holding no press conference. so that questions could be asked with respect to the things that are happening. And really and truly, I don't think that it warrants another for them to extend it. But as you know, Honorable Winston just said, the country can be governed without a state of emergency, but not at this time, which I do believe. Right? And that is my contribution to the morning. I will let you know if anybody else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, thanks so much. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, we could
Dung Beetle Paradise. You remember those words? Richard, you remember those words? Dung Beetle Paradise?
Yeah.
Yeah. Patch a bush, mountain top. Rest well, Dr. Joe. Rest well.
Okay, caller, good morning. Mr. Grant.
Amigos, I don't get up, boy. I missed the basketball. It was only just now when they're talking about Trump and don't call me to touch them and we lost. Anyhow, I've been saying this for the longest while. The Prime Minister, since she was there in 2010 to 2015, she was living in Philadelphia. You see, I always say Trinidad has more of deceitful people, otherwise I must stress on that, We seen things in front of the eye and we're trying to see if they trying to take on the EMP. It was there before. So now, long time, in 2010, was pre-action protocol in the car. Every time you ask them, the county government paying them the opposition to call so much a time. That case testing is, Dr. Rowley has 60-something cases against Balbugin, and he can't get money. Right? And this is what they're doing now. They're using state of emergency. And I look at that, it might not be no independence day parade again neither. You understand?
Mm.
The fights to the people in the media and they only staying quiet. They wouldn't come out as big men. Andy Johnson, the fire, he retired, he resigned, right? From radio station. So what's really going on? Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Grant. Yeah.
28113152995156. What are your thoughts on the poll? Caller, good morning to you.
Morning to Charles Richard Wendell.
Morning, Rayman.
I don't think they're going to win the war on crime by holding a state of emergency, because it shows that it is ineffective. For the past 3 or how many states of emergency, nothing has changed. The only thing you're hearing, crime has gone down by 42%. But when you really look at the figures, in comparison to last year, this time, and now, you have a difference of 4 murders or 6 murders. Who are you trying to fool with that? What they need to do is put things in place or find some way to get at the people. You coming and tell us, we know who the criminals are. We certain all of them know who the criminals are. Alexander know where they are. Why can't you deal with them effectively once and for all? Bring them to book. And this is not happening. So I can't understand what is really going on in the head of this government. And apart from being vindictive, and now that somebody tell you that they're going to do what they want by protesting in front of you, they call it racist. That's just my contribution.
All right. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Let me give you the poll results, Wendell.
All right. Of course, our poll this morning, can we win the war on crime using the state of emergency? That's our poll this morning. Can we win the war on crime? What are the results, Sir Charles? Dun, 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 dun. Oops. Look at that. 100% said no. We haven't had a poll like that in a long
But
time.
actually, it's not reflective that way, really and truly. But just that I couldn't change the numbers there. But across the board, with the other platforms, it normally kind of work hand in hand. But with the WhatsApp and the WhatsApp channel, we had a couple of people saying yes. So it really came up to like 86-14. 86%.
Okay.
Yeah. Saying
All right. Because on YouTube, I didn't see one yes.
Yeah.
All I saw were no's. So if we go in on the YouTube vote, it's everybody saying no.
Yeah, and then I'll put everything together, you know.
Well, let me say YouTube/Facebook.
Yeah.
Everything here says no.
Yeah. So YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp channel. You know, all the members. It's 4 of them that we are. Normally they work together, but yeah.
Well, let's hear from the people who said yes.
So that is basically. So yeah, if anybody who said yes would like to call us, they could do so now. You know.
That'll be interesting if you said yes and you want to call us. But on our Gael channel this morning, all our comments are coming up. The comments are showing on the Gael screen this morning. It's not showing on the YouTube screen, but it's showing on the Gael screen. Every single comment that someone has made, it's there for you to see on Gael this morning. So thank you, Gael. I like that style. I always think the program should be more interactive and as interactive as possible. So all the comments are there. I just want to touch quickly on what I had raised just now with Marvin Gonzalez and so on. Of course, someone said that, well, the Prime Minister said it in the Parliament. He said it outside of the Parliament. Fine. Andre said it's one thing to allege the party doing wrong, but it's another to allege a person engaging in crime. But guess what? There's a comment from an LG. And I really agree with this comment. Imagine in Parliament you are protected and what you say there is aired publicly. Make it make sense. The law is really an ASS. Because it might be a private thing in Parliament, but it's aired publicly, not so. So everybody sees and hears what they say, what they're alleging in Parliament. So make it make sense. That I agree with, LG. Thanks for that comment.
Yeah. Richard, can you help us to make it make sense?
Make what make sense?
Why there's parliamentary privilege? I know.
I think parliamentary privilege was born out of the desire or the practical thing that politicians should be able to bring anything to Parliament without consequence. So even if it's defamatory or even if it doesn't meet the evidential requirements of a court of law, that you could say whatever it is to bring the transparency of whatever the people's business is in a forum that you can have absolutely free speech. I think that's the intent. But of course, people use it in nefarious ways now. Can the courts adjudicate upon it? I don't know, because that parliamentary privilege is such a sacrosanct thing. But, can you test it? I guess you can.
Because back then, Parliament wasn't aired publicly.
No.
Yeah, there was no such thing as a Parliament channel. So it was kind of closed, a kind of closed-knit thing, Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is the name of your WhatsApp channel? So, Charles, somebody's asking a question. What is the name of the WhatsApp channel?
Well, to get on the WhatsApp channel, you will have to text us, and we will send you the link for the channel.
Okay. Yeah. Is it something you can view?
I think you can view it once you're on it. Okay. Once you've been accepted to the channel.
All right. So Empress Rezla, I'll send your number to 281-1315, and Sir Charles will hook you up.
The link to join the channel. I don't know if there's another way, but as you mentioned that, Empress, I will check on that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a way that you could probably just go and join it. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's a good idea.
Did Mariano join?
No.
Mariano, the message you sent indicates that he says Wednesday.
No, he said Wednesday. I'm in bed. Wednesday. Okay. You see, there was no punctuation, so that's where I got confused. I thought he meant Wednesday. He is in Barbados, so he can't join. But you're right. You might be right. In other words, he says Wednesday, and a pause. I am in Barbados, as in I am in Barbados now.
Yes.
So that's how you read it.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, you see. So maybe it's Wednesday.
So hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, Virginia. Good morning.
No, for Virginia via Florida.
No. Trump.
Hey.
But said Trump. What? Said Trump calling. You have to call. You have to start calling yourself Donald Trump. You know.
Leave yourself now. I can't take you nowhere. Anyway, hey, I voted no because the problem that I think the TTPS has is not only the detection, the solving, and even the management of whether it's a crime scene or whether it's incidents and stuff, and successful prosecution of cases where individuals are guilty. Didn't we free a bunch of fellas just the other day? And just a typical example, you see that video, man? That video with the shooting, right? That scene, if you want to call it a crime scene or incident scene, so many things were done wrong, so many ways that in another jurisdiction, it gets thrown out, you know, because, you know, and even in the way they throw those people in the back of those, you know, police vehicles like they were onions. I mean, I don't want to belittle. I mean, it's a serious thing, right? I mean, that could have exasperated the injuries, you know, that the lady suffered. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, so I think that's, I voted hell no, right? On that, on activity. And by the way, Wendell, the US has been in World Cup soccer since the 30s, when it first started. And not the first time. It's after a long time they got in when they beat Trinidad and Tobago. And hey, poll question maybe for Friday. What team you think Ron will be supporting for the World Cup as a Trini?
Right. Be with us.
What? Anyway, yes, talk to you all later.
France, maybe France?
Man, go to France with that.
I do that for spite.
Yeah.
France is like the next, the unacclaimed African team in the World Cup. That's a lot of people support France. You know. Most of the players who play for France are in fact African origin, you know, African base, you know.
Heritage.
Mm-hmm. Heritage, yeah, that's the word I want.
Yeah. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
World Cup is a sign that 2 points I want to make, but as I'm talking about football, I call him deaf because I'm on my phone and I call him on my phone. World Cup is a sign that always remind me how easily we forget. I always am amazed by people of color who support these countries that colonized us, raped our countries, and still continue to rape our countries. France only gave up. Haiti only finished repaying France a couple of years ago. And we like to support and be hooray and hurrah and say that Haiti, we love you. But supporting France in World Cup. It has just amazed me how we forget. But I digress. I saw a piece of news last night that the head of the Shogunas Business Chamber, whatever the title is in support of the SOE with an amendment, with a little addition that the government enforce or implement a curfew on the crime hotspots. I would like to ask that gentleman, where is the crime hotspots? Because I haven't seen any murders recently in Lavantil, John Beatam, Silas, all the supposed crime known areas. As a matter of fact, murders and crime has been happening all over this country. So I would like to put the question to him. Suggest to us where is a crime hotspot that you would like to enforce a curfew.
Yeah, valid question.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks,
Thank
Lincoln.
you very much.
Okay.
All over, we are having crime. All over the place.
We have another caller there. Caller, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
This morning, I want to be a bit lighter. So the burden of the politics is kind of weighing on me. So I want to just make a comment on the football. Now, even though I hear what Lincoln said about the colonial history, I am able to separate the game itself from the history and look at the game from a technical and a quality standpoint. And therefore, some of us are able to look and say, this is the best playing team, and therefore we might support that team, In addition to that, Wendell made a point that the French team is basically an African team. The English team is becoming very much an African and Caribbean team also. Maybe they have a deficit in some of the physical attributes that make a good footballer, and therefore they need to weigh heavy on the migrants and that kind of thing. But what I really cool about is this. Wendell mentioned the fact that the USA only come to football lately. Well, that's really true, because they have a olden era and a modern era. There's a victory by England by the USA over England in the 1950 World Cup. I think they call it Miracle on Grass or something like that. But that's something that I've known about for quite a while. I don't know how they qualified, because I don't know what was the qualification process in those days. But they managed to effect a defeat on England, and that is the most historical adventure into football. Notice I'm not saying soccer, because I'm against that, at the time, and it still is the most historical victory, basically, Now, I will leave it at that, because I'm just on football for the next couple of weeks, basically,
All right.
I'm an Adam fan.
Thank you very much. All right. So, Wendell, I was just who wanted to find out about the WhatsApp channel.
Empress.
Right. So, Empress, if you go into your tab where you find the different channels there, and you go in the search engine at the top and you put NETT Radio Trinidad, you will see the channel come up, and all you have to do is hit the follow button, and that is another way that you can do it, which is a lot easier than sending me the text. Right? Very, very easy. And for some reason, I did not think of that before, but thank you very much. Right?
All right. So there you go, for those who want to follow us on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So Charles just explained it. I can't remember a thing he just said, but maybe you can explain it again.
And search in where you find all the WhatsApp channel on that tab.
Partly sunny skies. Today's forecast has clouds with a chance of showers.
Oh, he walked away from his device. So his device has taken over the airwaves.
So you just put in NETT Radio Trinidad in the WhatsApp channel, in the channel areas, and once it comes up, just follow the channel. That's all you have.
Listen to this. Alexa, what's the weather like in Arima?
Currently, in Arima, it's 26 degrees Celsius with partly sunny skies. Today, you can expect clouds with a chance of showers, with a high of 32 degrees and a low of 24 degrees. Want to start your day by listening to March?
Alexa is also doing the same.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Look, you want to ask something personal about Richard?
Alexa, thank you.
You are so very welcome.
Richard, do not walk away from your Alexa with us on radio. Please, we are going to create mischief.
To
station based on Mr. Mister on Amazon Music.
You see me, never take Alexa off. I'll just right.
Yeah, let me mute him. I don't think Alexa will be able to do anything now. Right? Oh my word. Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Morning, Caller.
Yeah, earlier in the piece, I had mentioned Trinidad and Tobago going down the road of El Salvador, right? And I just use that as El Salvador as a cautionary tale, because what happened there is that to date, El Salvador extended the state of emergency for the 51st time, 51 times. In the entire tenure of Bukele, had a state of emergency. And every time they extend the state of emergency, they tighten the grip on all kind of things, human rights thing, the media, protests. They're just locking up people without bail. The amount of people dying in custody and things. So I say we're going on the road of El Salvador, right? I use that as a cautionary tale. I'm not saying that we reach there, because progressively it reach there, right? Now, they would do that if they're predicating it on the assumption that every year would have 500 or 600 people to murder, right? So every year we expect to have 500 and 600 murders. So if you keep the state of emergency during the tenure and the murder rate for that 5 years come down to 200 or 300, then you will say it's a victory because it's less murder, because you're comparing it to, when the murder was a spike, right? Yeah. But that's just a superficial victory, because as soon as we come back to normalcy, right? We didn't deal with the root problem, we didn't deal with the core of the problem, and then, the murder will go back up again, right? So we not state of emergency and then wouldn't solve the crime. We had to go to the root cause of the problem. And you see the whole police force and thing was predicated on the thing to protect the colonial masters. Right? But the police is supposed to protect the public and protect the state from the criminal elements. So if the police didn't get back the public on the side, we're not going nowhere. Right? Because the few criminals that have, right, as I say, they will morph themselves into the whole society. How they handle it now? But if we isolate them, right now is the police, is the public against the police, the criminal, and then you have the rest of the society. So we have come down to some serious thing for the police to get back the public on the side for both of us to fight crime effectively.
Yeah, thanks very much. I don't think I don't necessarily agree about the superficial and what you can consider is, stats is stats, and that's what people are looking at. Even if I put something, if I didn't even had an SOE, and our government would have probably either to say have more normal patrols, do other things, and they would have brought down the crime situation. Does that mean if next year something else happens, criminality changes the mode and does other things and it starts to go back up, does that mean that what they would have done cannot be counted? It has to be counted, so. And I think that is what people, governments rely on, regardless of whatever method they use. At the end of the day, they will always say, whether it be state of emergency, whether it be police walking from Arima to Port of Spain, once the numbers are trending downwards or in their favor, they are going to use whatever they have. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good day. Good day, guys.
Good day.
I was under the assumption that when they had the back-to-back state of emergencies, that they would use the army and the police and go into all the areas where previously they knew crime was happening, but they didn't have maybe all the evidence. So let's say in San Fernando, Vistabella or Pleasantville might have an area that maybe a drug block or whatever, or maybe they're stealing cars or whatever illegality happening at that point, that location, and attack it on all the sides and arrest the people. I thought that is what they're doing, but clearly that is not what they're doing because we're not reading about it in the newspaper. And even something simple as custom or house where arrest the forklift that keep ramming into the scanner and take it somewhere else so we could get our next forklift that wouldn't run into the scanner and destroy it. But I don't know. We're not even being addressed to what is happening. So we just guessing. And a little lighter note with that Alexa device. Could you imagine if you could have downloaded a Trini attitude to your Alexa? When you
I think you can, you know. I think you can.
What's wrong with you? One might
What Jamaican? Look, man, just run out of here.
You ask the question, you feel it's a coffee short.
Thanks very much, caller. Yeah.
I just give somebody free advice to make
of
millions.
course, somebody going to add that to the app one time. Somebody thinking that. Yeah.
Thanks, Alistair. I think you can do it, you know. You can change it, you know. I don't know how, but I've never tried. I know I have no interest in trying. But some techie person, I'm sure, will come up with something. Or maybe have already done so.
Yeah, techie people don't sleep, you know. They move all the time now, you know. Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Charles.
Good morning, Zena.
Well, and to Richard.
Well, yes.
Morning to all those who are locked on.
Richard has left Alexa to answer for him.
The answer to the poll, hell no. That's what my answer was. And as everybody else said, the state of emergency was ready to check on crime. That's come as a form of suppression, so that the people cannot say how they feel about the governance and the policing of this country. That is all, and that is all I see going on. The crime and the killing and whatever, the murders, and so they continue. So since they bring it in, they see nothing is happening to quell the kind of murders and so we're having, and it did not make a dent on it. So that is just to suppress the people from coming out and into the areas that they put as no zones to make noise. That's all. They don't want to hear about the downfall. That's it. Full stop.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Thanks very much, Zena. We have our football insights coming up in a little bit. We'll probably do it right after the next caller, and we're going up the news also at 8 o'clock, you know. Hello, good morning to you. Miss Sampson.
Good morning, it's I again. If you all want to know the exact amount of people that's been murdered, the best thing to do is to check Ian shows for the whole year, because I can tell you it passed PNM. They're just using PNM as a mark, crime going down because it didn't use that figure. But I can tell you it passed that figure, because listening to Ian sometimes just the other was 3 deaths, then a weekend 7, then 5, then 8, all of that adding up. But he used to count it before. But since in this government, he stopped counting it. He kind of
so you're challenging his credibility then.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's somebody calling by talking the yellow, and if you hear how we get on, and then somebody else call and say PNM people who committing the crime, and let the man talk as long as he want to talk. Yes, they're biased. You can't be biased in government, but if you want to know the real figure, check here and all. And for 1 year, sit down and go into YouTube and check because he does have the news first. You'll get the real figure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it passed the last regime.
Well, that's why we have shadow ministers. I'm saying we have a shadow national security minister, Wendell.
Well, I think Marvin Gonzalez also doing that because he would have been the last national security minister when Stuart Young became prime minister, if you remember.
Yeah. And this is what good opposition does. If there's inconsistencies, or people are feeling that the figures are not being put out there the way it is, and there's more, that's what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And see what it really is, or at least close to.
Yeah, I've never really followed the amount in terms of when, even back in the day, when they would continuously put it up in the right-hand corner of the newspaper or whatever. I never really followed that because I never believed that was what it was. And I said that last week, I think, on some show, right? I've never believed those statistics that they put up. So it really doesn't bother me at the end of the day whether it's 500 or 200. It's still alarming. We still have a problem. And it's clear that we have a problem even under an SOE, where in the month of May, we had 51 recorded. I'm sure it was more than that. You understand? Because if they're recording a high figure, then the figure higher. Trust me. You understand? If they're publicly telling you what that figure is 51, then that figure is a lot more than 51. In my opinion, that's my opinion.
The only thing that I don't like with the figures that they put out is that I don't believe that that police killings are in between it.
No, I said that the other day. Are they counting that? Are they counting when they find a body and don't know how the person died as yet? Are they counting those things? I don't think they are.
Yeah. So that is the thing, my thing about it. But people, let's do our World Cup insights and we will be back, right? Yeah.
Welcome to Inside the Net on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio. Our daily insights as we count down the journey to FIFA World Cup 2026. Here is today's insight.
Today, it is watched by billions. It stops entire nations. It creates heroes, heartbreak, and moments that live forever in sporting history. But the FIFA World Cup began as a much smaller dream. In 1930, the first FIFA World Cup was held in Uruguay. Only 13 teams participated, and few could have imagined that the tournament would one day become the largest sporting event on the planet. Uruguay would become the first champions, defeating Argentina in front of a passionate home crowd. This was the beginning of a legend. As the decades passed, the tournament continued to grow. New nations arrived, new stars emerged, and football's global reach expanded across every continent. The World Cup became a stage where unknown players could become legends overnight. From the brilliance of Pelé and Brazil in 1958 to Diego Maradona's unforgettable performances for Argentina, the tournament consistently produced moments that captured the imagination of the world. As television technology improved, millions more people gained access to the spectacle. Soon, millions became hundreds of millions, and hundreds of millions became billions. The World Cup transformed from a football tournament into a global cultural event. Entire countries paused to watch. Families gather around televisions. The legends had arrived. The tournament has also delivered some of the most dramatic moments in sports history. Underdogs have shocked giants. Last-minute goals have changed destinies. Penalty shootouts have created both ecstasy and heartbreak. Every World Cup writes its own story. Every tournament introduces new heroes. Today, the FIFA World Cup is more than a championship. It is a celebration of competition, culture, and the universal language of football. From 13 teams in Uruguay to 48 nations in 2026, the journey has been remarkable, and the story is still being written. This has been Inside the Net, Road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights. Join us again as we continue the journey to football's biggest stage.
You've been listening to Inside the Net as we count down the journey to FIFA World Cup 2026 on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. The father of murdered 12-year-old Mercedes Lane broke down in tears today after an autopsy confirmed she died from blunt force trauma to the head. Ronald Cabrera said no punishment could erase the pain of losing his daughter, questioning whether any sentence could ever bring her back. Mercedes, a pupil of Erin RC Primary School, was reported missing on Saturday. Her partially clothed body was discovered near an oil well along Carapal Road, Erin, on Sunday morning. A 24-year-old man from Palo Seco remains in police custody as investigations continue. The killing has shocked the nation and prompted renewed calls for stronger measures to protect children. The government is proposing changes to pension rules that would allow police, prison, and fire officers to retire with benefits based on higher acting positions they held before retirement. The measure is contained in the Finance Bill 2026, laid in Parliament by Finance Minister Devendranath Thakur. Under the proposal, officers who served continuously in a higher post for at least 1 year, but less than 3 years, immediately before retirement, would have their pensions and gratuities calculated using the salary of that higher office. The move aims to address a long-standing issue where officers spend years performing higher duties in an acting capacity, but retire without receiving the full benefits attached to those positions. The Financial Intelligence Unit of Trinidad and Tobago is warning the public about fraudulent identification cards being used by individuals falsely claiming to represent the FIUTT, the Central Bank, and the Financial Investigations Branch. According to the FIUTT, the fake IDs identify holders as financial analyst supervisors and are not issued or authorized by any of the agencies. The FIUTT stressed that anyone presenting these credentials has no authority to conduct business, make enquiries, or request information on behalf of the agencies. Members of the public are being urged not to provide money, personal or financial information to anyone using the fake IDs and to report any such incidents to police or the relevant authorities immediately. A 40-year-old man was burnt beyond recognition after his car crashed and burst into flames along the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway early Thursday morning. Police identified the victim as Jason Small of Sheriff Street, Tunapuna. Officers responded to reports of a crash around 5:30 a.m. and found a blue Nissan Versa lodged in a ditch near BM Electronics warehouse along the eastbound lane of the highway. Investigators said Small, who was alone in the vehicle, lost control around 4:50 a.m. The car struck a culvert, became airborne, and landed in the ditch, where it caught fire and trapped him inside. Fire officers later extinguished the blaze, while police and crime scene investigators processed the scene. In crime news, police are investigating a robbery along the Beetham Highway after 2 young men were attacked when their vehicle broke down early Saturday morning. The victims were robbed of cash and personal documents after being approached by 2 armed men near the Beetham landfill. Meanwhile, Special Reserve Police Officer Lauren Thomas has been granted $200,000 bail on charges of forgery and misbehavior in public office. Investigators allege she submitted invalid CXC certificates as part of a process to become a regular police officer. And in Claxton Bay, an 18-year-old man was arrested after police allegedly found him hiding in bushes with items believed stolen from 2 homes. Officers recovered electronics, jewelry, and cash following the early morning incidents. Finally, the United States will introduce a new premium service for business and tourist visa applicants, allowing faster interview appointments for an additional fee. Under a pilot program starting July 1st, applicants can pay US $750 on top of the standard $185 visa fee to secure an interview within 10 days at selected U.S. embassies and consulates. The program will run until December 31st and may be extended depending on demand. U.S. officials say the service is optional and does not guarantee visa approval. The move comes as applicants continue to face lengthy wait times and tighter immigration screening measures introduced under the Trump administration. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
S&H Rum Box, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box, drinking out of the box.
Gaylan and the Ultimate DJ Shane presents the Reggae Ride 26. A touch of red, white, gold, and green. Come out with your crew. Represent your color. Get ready for pure reggae vibes on June 27th on board the Harbour Master. Boarding 11 p.m. and sailing at midnight. For over 20 years, the Reggae Ride has delivered the best reggae experience. Music by DJ Damien, Ever Slick, DJ Junior, Gaylan, and the Ultimate DJ Shane. Get your advance tickets, only $250 at Agard's Nuts House and City Furniture Stores nationwide or on islandnytickets.com.
Remember the song used to make you rock away. Those were the days.
Powered by Agard's Nuts House, City Furniture, Tokopia Hotel and Lounge, Cricket Land Academy. The Reggae Ride 26, a touch of red, white, gold, and green.
Just a little bit longer, baby. Oh, my love keeps growing stronger.
Are you taking care of your sexual health and overall well-being? At Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, we believe your confidence, wellness, and intimacy matter. Visit us at our convenient locations: 10 Carmody Street, St. Augustine, Edinburgh, Chaguanas, Shops of Daybay, 95 Circular Road, Vistabella, Docks Ranch Lightpole 51, SS Aaron Road, Penal, and Metro Hotel, Suite 1, Number 2 Knoll Street North, Couva. From relaxing massage services to professional guidance on sexual wellness, we are here to support you every step of the way. Consult with renowned sexologist, Dr. Raj Ramnanan, for expert advice tailored to your needs. Take the first step toward a healthier, more confident you. Call 285-9739 or 645-4543 to book your appointment today. Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, where wellness meets confidence.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Get ready. The road to football's biggest stage starts right here on Net Radio and Gael TV. Join us for Inside the Net, the road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights. Every weekday, take a journey through World Cup history, legendary players, unforgettable goals, football's greatest nations, rising stars, iconic stadiums, and the stories behind the beautiful game. From Brazil to Argentina, Germany to France, and every nation chasing football glory. Join us daily at 7:55 a.m. and 11:55 a.m. Don't just watch the World Cup, live the passion. Inside the Net, road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the breakfast show here on Net Radio. Let me get it up inside. All right, so you can know where you are at. You're listening to the breakfast show, and we are happy to be here with you. And I hope you enjoyed our World Cup Insights. We'll be playing it for you twice a day at 7:55 and 11:55 p.m. You can look for the repeat. Of course, at that point in time, you have to come across to that Radio TT to be able to get the repeat. But yeah, we are here with you. So much things that we have talked about throughout the morning. You know, we continue to talk about the SOE, the crime situation. What I feel is taking place, Wendell, is that why the crime is getting harder and harder to deal with. Criminals are getting smarter, and they have been smart for a long time, but they're getting smarter now, and technology is helping them plenty. They're able to detect and hide a lot of things before the police.
You're talking about blue collar criminals or white collar criminals?
Both of them. Both of them. Just as and we know how hard it is to detect white collar crime, and that is why it's a major driver of the blue collar crime. But blue collar crime is coming even harder. Although they say blue collar crime is what they might consider to be the low hanging fruits, it is getting harder to detect. And that is why I believe, and this is just my belief, why an administration would have probably gone to an SOE, because you can basically hold some of the key players without having evidence on suspicions. Then you understand? You can't do that with
So
white
in
collar.
other words, we don't want to do real police work then. We just want to lock up people.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You have to do real police work. It's not an excuse for that. You have to do. I'm just looking at probably why they would have gone, but it doesn't excuse them from doing the real police work. But I'm also recognizing too that the criminal element is not as easy to tap down blue collar right now in some cases as even in white collar. You know, and if you catch people in the act, it's fine. But some of the other things that these people and them have and what they're doing, if you don't have the evidence, you can't really. How are we keeping them in jail? How are you making cases against them? You know.
Well, that's why they're using a state of emergency, just to keep them there. Because in a state of emergency, you don't have to. They literally locked up until that comes to an end. You know.
That is it. So we can lock you up without evidence, you understand? And then we can let you out without because without an SOE, if they lock you up without evidence, you will probably have claim to go to the courts for wrongful imprisonment, detention without, whatever, and you would probably get money in the process at the end of it all, you understand? In an SOE, I don't know when, I'm not too sure, and maybe when...
Didn't that happen before? That the people who were locked up in SOEs took the government to court and they had to pay? Didn't that happen before? I think it did.
Yeah, but I don't know if these situations, what they were locked up for and charged, if on this occasion, they are locking you up in a different kind of way then, so they're not making that mistake then. You understand?
Okay, all right. I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. And
if whatever it is that they locked you up and the state had to pay and is still paying for that mistake, whatever they did then.
I think that was in 2011, right?
Yeah, whatever it is. But I can't remember exactly what was the it was. I don't think it was just a matter of just locking them up, but something else came into play at that point in time. The police were doing something else. I think they were charging people or something like that, right? They lock up people and then find charges or whatever the case for them, and they had to pay. But right now, you are being locked up, but they keep you for whatever time, and then they send you out. They're not laying any charges against you. You know. So under an SOE, that behavior is allowed. So they are utilizing that. But as I said, it doesn't give an excuse for real policing work. You have to do, the police have to come out there and do the work just as difficult as white collar crime is, and finding and holding white collar criminals. They have to do a lot more in all of those areas, and it is the police service seems to be lacking in that aspect here in Trinidad and Tobago. We are not on both fronts, whether it be white collar, blue collar, because they say, okay, you could know Mr. X is a money laundering, whatever his case, but you can never go home by him and find, if you're bust down by him 10 times, Wendell, 10 times you're coming out with nothing. You ain't see no gun, you ain't see no this, you ain't see no that. So what are you locking him up for? Because you feel because somebody tell you something. You understand? And I feel it's the same kind of thing that is taking place with a lot of these things. So these guys are so well organized with whatever they're doing that they are running rings around the police. Rings around, because we talk about the gangs and that sort of thing, right? So the police, through their intelligence and whatever information, they would have an idea as to how much gangs it have, but they can't prove who in the gang, because it ain't like a long time in the US when the Crips and the Bloods had tattoos and markers so you can identify this man as a member of a gang. You could come and pick me up and say, so George, you're part of this gang. I say, yeah? Which part am I saying that? With my ID card that's saying that. You understand? John tell me, we're going to bring John here. When John ain't coming out to say, no, me ain't say that. You understand?
So Charles, it all boils down to Trinidad and Tobago is not a place I want to spend majority of time. It's just not a place. I rather go and sit somewhere, do nothing somewhere, than to be just waiting for the inevitable, almost like in Trinidad. It's got so depressing, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, unfortunately, the majority of us cannot do that. So we have to still battle up and depend on and hope and agitate for a better life, for ourselves. And even though, as I said, I mean, yes, you were able to do this and you move about and that sort of thing. But even if you decide to relocate and go somewhere else, Wendell, and I'm going back to that, at some point in time, you want to know that the people who are here in Trinidad, they are right to it. You still want to know that happen and everybody okay, the families,
Well, yes. So let me answer that question. The fact of the matter now is that we have a government in place who not giving you also the opportunity to agitate for better. Because of the state of emergency, you cannot agitate for better now. You could talk on the radio, yeah, you could talk on social media. Well, even on social media, look at what's happening. People who doing it the extreme way. And we know we've had these people. Listen, a lot of the influencers who helped the UNC get into power used to be saying nastiest things on radio about Dr. Rowley and whoever. The nastiest things. And all of a sudden now nobody must say nothing about them. No, man, that can't be right. How could that ever be right? So you can't even agitate for better here as it is. You have to hope better comes. Where is that coming from? We don't isolate the Caribbean. We insult Venezuela, where our economy lies. You know what I mean? We do everything to alienate people who could help us, and now we are just hope for the best. We are living in hope, Sir Charles. Well, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, well, and even in that case, because at the end of the day, we are here. So people who are agitating still have to agitate.
How?
Find a way. We still have to agitate. Well, you understand? Because even as the caller was talking about, when he's talking about Burkina Faso, when he was talking about the extended state of emergency and stuff.
El Salvador,
right? Mm-hmm. Even though where they have that extended state of emergency and all the things that are happening, there are still people there who are still lending their voices and not pleased with what is taking place. You know, now a number of the a great number of the population is very happy and contented with what is taking place, because as they're concerned, I'm not involved in no crime, right? I'm not protesting for nothing, but what life is for me there is a lot better than what it was. So they are okay with it, but it have groups who are pushing back against it and saying, no, we don't want to state of emergency, and they are still doing it and getting their voices out, you know. So we still have to do what we have to do here, whether it be the trade unions, whether it be the other persons, and we have to agitate. Everybody can't lie down and say, well, okay, well, that is it and that is it. And just by being able and giving people a voice, even what we're doing here on the platform, people are still able to share their views and stuff, and all that is pushback, you know.
So Charles, all that is good. Pushing back is good. Saying, making your voice heard is good, but it will make no difference until an election comes up where you get a chance to exercise that. And what do you think is going to happen? You have to just wait. So I am not going to waste my energy. I'm not going to waste my energy when I could conserve it and try to enjoy whatever quality of life I have.
Well,
I'm not going to do that.
But all the other people who here can't do that. The opposition can't do that. The civil society groups can't do that. The other smaller parties, because look at it this way. For example, let's just take Michaela and her party. You're not hearing from them, right? Or you're not hearing much from them. If they decide, look, well, boy, it make no sense, I go only come out and agitate when it comes to 2030 general elections. You know what people are going to say? Well, all it was all the time. You understand? So they know, all know, they are the ones who are supposed to be seizing this opportunity to let their voices be heard, to be champions of the
best to them. All the best to
all the oppression and all these, whatever it is they feel. This is where these people are supposed to be doing the work now. And that is why when they want to wait until 2030 to start to do the work, people don't take them on, because where was all the time? And even with the present opposition right now, and I'm happy to say that I'm seeing them getting a little more vibrant now, you know, and they're talking out a lot more on issues. I'm hearing somebody talking about the constitutional part of this whole SOE and that sort of thing. Look how long it takes to reach here. You understand? We should have done as an opposition. If that is the case, if we want to challenge it in the courts, we should have done challenge that a long time. One time. All that should be part of our plan, because I mean the opposition is look how much lawyers in the party. You understand? They should be able to caucus and find out if this SOE is, if they can challenge this constitutionally and go for it.
Well, clearly they don't think so, because as you rightly said, they have a stack of attorneys with them. They have a brilliant attorney who supports them in Larry Lala, but you're not hearing that kind of talk that they're going to be challenging this and challenging that, and so that's why you feel a sense of hopelessness. You can't help but feel a sense of hopelessness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
because nobody's doing anything.
Yeah, but there are some people who are in positions and have to be outside there doing the work, because they are the ones now, they are in opposition, aspiring back to government. So they have to capitalize on all of these moments, you know, Wendell. This is where they get the opportunity at it. When the government slip up, this is where an opposition has to beat the drum hard. You understand? And sometimes they're not beating the drum hard. If all the stats and all the things that people are challenging, get it, put it outside there. You know, keep putting it outside there. You know, and this is the kind of things that they need to do. But as I said, I still seeing some vibrancy taking place. So there's hope. There's hope. There, you know. So
my hope lies elsewhere, unfortunately. I get my joy, I get my satisfaction elsewhere. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? My family, but more particularly my grandson, who has a dream that I intend to support as much as possible, as long as I can afford it and I can do it. That's where my focus lies right now. I've tried helping other people to my own detriment. I'm just gonna focus on him now.
Yeah, well, sometimes we learn some hard lessons too. We think, well, some lessons are hard, but we learn. But as I said, sometimes you have to do what you have to do for you too, because sometimes other people have to take up the fight and do it. You can't continue at the same pace all the time. But people, let's take a couple of calls. It's Tuesday. Before we get out of here in a little bit, we can take your calls 2811315 or 2995156. Caller, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning again, Sir Charles.
Morning, Shago.
Good morning. Sir Charles, I seen videos on the the murders and they were taking place. The young fellas and them pull up in a car, they jump out, some of them without no mask or nothing, open fire on people, jump back in the car, drive away. What's so sophisticated about that, Sir Charles? The people and them, the killers and them get more brazen and bold face and kind of thing because they feel they wouldn't be caught. Means big set of sophistication and technological and thing about that. I see crudeness and brazenness because they feel that there's no chance of being caught, right? Look at the last double murder there in Shogunas. That happened less than 100 yards away from the police station,
Yeah.
Right? Now, I watching the state of emergency thing. And the criminals and them, you can see that they move around. Right? So, let's say you have crime or pickpocketing and thing in Port of Spain, that hotspot, right? So the police go and lock down Port of Spain. But the pickpocketer traveling from Point 14 every day to come and rob people in Port of Spain, and then he go on and you lock down Port of Spain and terrorizing people in Port of Spain. Right? Now look at something, all in the 80s and 90s. I can tell when last I see that recently. Because they know the killers and them just move around or they commit the crime and then they go on somewhere to hide, right? The police used to put up a thing, Trinidad Most Wanted. Nobody didn't know who Yellow Man is, and the Z and all these kind of places. So the police have them and they're searching for them. We see a thing every day on the TV, on the papers, and they're looking for this person. So somebody might see the person hanging out in Shogunas, but he in Point 14, but he do a murder in a Rima, right? So somebody will say, hey, I see this man in the market, boy. I see this man lying down the road. But when last you see a bulletin or something, so with any suspect for murder or any wanted person on the TV or on the papers and things, when last you see that in Trinidad? So it seems like the police and they want to do it on their own. If they want to work alone, that's the reason they get them can solve crime on their own.
But caller, and let me ask a question. No, I mean I'm not a police officer, but I suspect, as I said, I am into things and technology and thing and and I'm looking and seeing how it is being used on both sides of the fence. And I'm not saying that here going on, it cannot, there are some things that the police cannot do, but I believe that in some cases, because you have a smarter criminal, that it is a little more difficult for them to kind of pull these things together and really charge and keep these people in prison, for want of a better word. But it is not an excuse to say that they should not be doing more. All right?
Yeah. So let's say something I'm thinking. If the police are operating properly, you lock down an area, you lock down Beatham. You lock down Beatham looking for somebody. But the person know they're hot, right? So they leave Beatham and they go on. You lock down Beatham, them not there. And you lock down people, right? So let me say the person went and do something outside. How the police operate? You want to go in, they're going in Beatham to look for X, because you are intelligence. Hey, this man is the suspect or this man do that. They go in and look for X. X living on 15th Street. So let me go 15th Street at 3 access point. Let me block here. Or we get information that, hey, the man home, because I heard the criminals get information, You can't tell me like in Londonville, a man pull up in a car around a certain time, run in a house, gun down somewhere, run upstairs and go in a bedroom. So he had intelligence, he had information that the man home, the man in the room, sleeping upstairs or whatever.
So that's what I'm saying. Right. They're doing their work.
So the police have intelligence that, hey, we're looking for X living on 15th Street. 15th Street you can enter here and have back entrance. So you block so, and we get information on the man home, and we go in the border house. You know what they do? They block down the whole beat them. About 20 cars, police with gun, all kind of thing. If the man was outside, come back, he say, oh, shit, we have a block down there, boy. Let me go home tonight, no? Yeah, intelligence.
Yeah. All right, caller, I hear you. Let me take this other call. You can always call us back in between there, because for what you are saying there, this person will have a very good idea and tell us, because he has been in it. Caller, good morning to you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to educate that caller, right? I will just give an example of what you just spoke about with Sir Charles and Mr. Stevens. You could go on Waze now, anybody who are Waze, and Waze has an icon that shows you where police activity is.
Correct.
And from the time and people will be sending out voice notes and messages saying, hey, white shirts and police here and here. What would people do? They change their behavior, right? Now, I could tell you, before social media and the explosion of smart devices and so on, you would have had a measure of success. But we had to go back to, I recall when the debate for expanding the Interception of Communications Act with respect to giving the police and the SSA powers to enforce search warrants or warrants to seize documents. You know who said the proposal was draconian and the power shouldn't be in the director of the SSA and the police commissioner's hand? Take a guess, sir. Take a wild guess.
The then opposition leader.
All the people who in government know who is then opposition. So the proposals have to be shelved. And I kind of back to this right as the caller was talking. You know what I was thinking about? The Prime Minister trying to be going 2000 was Basil Pandey, not so?
Yeah.
Basil Pandey gave a commitment in the CARICOM heads of government meeting in 2000 that if you give us the headquarters of the CCJ, we will leave the Privy Council and make the Caribbean Court of Justice our final court of appeal for all matters, civil and criminal, replacing the Privy Council. After the moral and spiritual values announcement by the then President Robinson, where he chose Mr. Manning, that went out the window in 2001. That is 25 years ago. So we have to be fair. I'm going back even further. When they said that the Prime Minister, then Mr. Manning, had the sole power to appoint the police commissioner and veto whoever the service commission sent forward, the opposition then, led by Mr. Pandey again, said, hey, we have to change that. What did Patrick Augustus Manning do? He met with Mr. Pandey and said, here what? Let's change the Police Service Act. And we now have the Police Service Act, and we now have the convoluted procedure to appoint a commissioner and his executive officers. Are we better off than when the Prime Minister alone had the veto? No. So when people say that PNM was there for the longest time and they did nothing, that is not true. PNM tried to advance laws in the country for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago. That is the facts. But listen, to that last caller, right, what I would say to him, many things that what the public wants the police service to do and police to do, when they do it like that and they appear before the court, especially now with the Administration of Justice Indictable Proceedings Act, AJPA, when you reach, like I explained yesterday, when you reach to the sufficiency hearing and you disclose the evidence to the master, you know at that point, the master could say whether or not he or she believes that the police has a prima facie case to go forward with evidence, to either convince a judge alone or a jury of the accused peers that they could convict them. The master has that power, and once the police don't meet the evidential standard as required by a JIPA, down the road, out the door. That's the operation. So you want the police to be more efficient with a piece of law, but technology for them has not come up to scratch. Look, I'll give you one example. That's one. The Forensic Science Center is not controlled by the police service. It's an independent thing that has a director. Police have to submit the evidence outside. Police departments have forensics in there. All the CSIs and so on are collated by forensic and analysts who are under the direction of the control of the police service. If you have a problem, then they could go to an independent operation like the Forensic Science Center to challenge what the police is putting forward as evidence. Now, when the Forensic Science Center was opened in 1978, it was a good idea where crime is concerned. But when we come forward leaps and bounds over here now in 2026, that arrangement could no longer work for it to be efficient with crime fighting and the persecution of justice. Let's hear if the government in this iteration will pass legislation to free up that. Would they? Do they need to do it? Yes, like yesterday.
Yeah. But is that before the house, or is that coming back at any point in time? We haven't yet.
No, but let's see if something like that would come. Yeah. We have a Minister of Justice, we have a Minister of Defense, we have a Minister of Homeland Security, we have an Attorney General and a Minister of Legal Affairs. All of them, as you rightly said just now, are all brilliant attorneys. We have more of them in that cabinet as well, who are attorneys. The Speaker, he wouldn't get involved in the legislation and so on, but there are plenty of attorneys. Let's see what will happen because remember, they told us they have the solutions. Come up with it. And in going, here's what the PNM has to counteract this thing with your entreaty, so Charles. The PNM has to show what they will do differently in terms of the legislation and policy in moving the country forward in this iteration to get votes from the people. It's not just about criticizing them and what they're doing now. Tell us, articulate to the population what you will do to advance our cause. If you get a required majority or more than what this government have now to make the place better.
Yeah.
If you have to do that, will mean there will be an opposition in perpetuity and the country will go further down the rabbit hole to anarchy.
Okay, no problem.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Very solid contribution. Very solid. Except, well, the Minister of Homeland Security is not an attorney, yeah? But the others you called are, in fact, But you didn't hear anything from the Minister of Justice. You barely hear anything from him. Who is he? Anybody could tell me who the Minister of Justice just solved the bat? No, you gotta Google it, eh? I bet you gotta Google it.
Yeah.
He does a chance. You know who he does?
No. I off the back, but I can't tell you that. You know?
I think he's your MP. Where you are? You're in Tunapuna or St. Joseph?
It certainly ain't my MP. but you know, at the end of the day, I have to already say thanks to my MP also. You know, my MP came to our compound about 2 weeks ago to meet with the residents and stuff. I was in between. It was a Sunday, I think, evening, and I was meeting.
All your Japanese and all the tree and thing.
Watch me now. Our MP came. He met with the people and stuff and thing. They identified the compound. It identified certain problems that we have been having, and and we start to see some movement. You know, some things immediately.
He'll probably make a better MP than he will make a minister, right?
but some of the things that we have started to see change, I think we are very thankful. Yeah, we won't see anything happening at all before. So I'm watching it, right?
Good morning.
Morning, Princess.
You know, I really appreciate the caller before, the former police officer. he's so factual, and I had to call because the point he was making about the UNC not taking appropriate action in Parliament when they're in opposition, and then coming into office, and on many occasions doing the same thing or a similar thing that was proposed, and trying to take credit for it, is, to me, that is very, very offensive. All the talk about the Caribbean Court of Justice and all these things, they have a tendency of just pouring water on positions taken by the PNM when they're in office. And as they come in, they're ready to embrace it. All this situation you see with the oil negotiations with Mr. Young, when they were calling for sanctions and all those things, that's the kind of record I see from the UNC. And even now, I think I saw them on TV last night or night before, signing something with the US and gun running into the Caribbean and all kind of thing. That was something that was championed by Dr. Rowley. I think he was head of CARICOM at the time, and pushing that. And the UNC laughed at that. When he said about crime being treated as a public health emergency, they laughed at that because just the mere fact that they said public health, people didn't see it as a crime fighting approach, not recognizing that if you look all across the world, you will see a lot of governments taking the same approach to a lot of matters, and saying it's a public health emergency just tries to highlight the fact that in public health matters is a kind of all hands on deck approach that you need to take. Generally, particularly in disease transmission, you don't sit on the side and say, well, we're not involved, because it's all hands on deck. And that's the point that Dr. Rowley is making. And until we start to, as a people, recognize how many instances the now opposition had good proposals for the country in general that were torpedoed by all kind of irrelevant issues that UNC would bring, then we wouldn't go anywhere, because they're able to do that and still come back to the supporters and get an overwhelming majority. And until the population starts to make them be held accountable for that kind of double speak and saying one thing when they're in government and doing another thing when they're in opposition, then it'll just be a revolving door and we will get nowhere. Something like the Revenue Authority that was recommended by the World Bank, something that the Jamaicans embrace and could show benefits from it. We just pour water on it. And now it will come in some way, some underhanded way, to try to sell us either the same thing or some amended form of it. I am fed up with that kind of politics, because I think they need to look at the big, broader issues. It's all well and good for them to come and put down Baba Green on some of the main roads in my constituency, which is a UNC constituency, you know. But to me, all those things are low-hanging fruit to the major decisions that we have to make to take this country forward. And that is so offensive to me, that, you know, it is a turn-off in the politics, you know.
Yeah. And it brings me back to a video that I shared the other day about democracies and how they work against its own people sometimes. Because in the PNM style of governance, right, which is a democracy, they take too long. It's talk and talk and consult and consult and talk, and then you consult again, then you go to a green paper, you go to a white paper, then you go to Parliament, then you debate it, and then you go to a parliamentary committee, and then it takes too long. Some of these things need to be done immediately. That's the only way this country is going to progress. You understand?
Yeah,
that's the only way. We take too long to do things sometimes.
Yeah. But the thing about it, and as Princeton would have identified, what politics has a science behind it, you know. And if you can manipulate it, you work with it. And when you are in opposition, for example, you have to recognize what the people would see and what you would have to do to get those people to support you, And like that revenue authority situation that he spoke about, if a significant amount of people on the ground did not see the benefit of that or were able, I talk about the population now, right? To be able to identify and would have felt that if it had come on stream, what they would have lost, jobs and all those different kinds of stuff, those persons will not have really supported the revenue authority. So the government...
You're confused by this now. You say people would have lost jobs if they had supported the revenue authority?
Well, I'm just saying in the sense that the revenue authority, when it would have come into play, because of the fact that people who were going to be transferred, they were not happy. That's about the workers. Some of them were not happy with it because they went to court, PSC and all kind of thing, right? So that means those individuals would not have wanted the revenue authority. So the only reason
that was propaganda. That was when what's his name? That was when Karen Nunes Teixeira was championing it back then. That was the talk that people would be going home and they would lose their tenure and all kind of thing. We got past all that,
Yeah, but
because Larry Hawaii, as Minister of Finance under the People's Partnership, was going to implement it. And then eventually, when PNM got back there, at the very last minute, they got it going and people started to pay.
Yeah,
nobody was losing jobs. What happened since the PNM out of office?
No,
then the people lose their jobs, though.
No, what I'm saying, I don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that whoever wanted to bring it did not have total public buy-in with it. And if you don't have public buy-in, another party as in opposition will capitalize on those persons who are not buying into your idea.
Because the PNM did a poor PR job on it under Mr. Manning and Ms. Teixeira. They did a poor PR job at it.
And if you do a poor PR job of selling the idea to the population, where we could get the benefits from it, it happened with so many other things, right? It happened with the smelter, it happened with this, and it happened with that. If your PR is poor in selling Vision 2020, all those things, if you were poor in selling it to the population, guess what? An opposition trying to get your job will show those persons, you see them, don't support them. We will do it different for you. And that is what...
Yeah, but PR is different. I agree. Well, we agree on one thing. The PR job was poor. But at the end of the day, you need to do what is best for the country. And if the PNM vacillated, they spin wrong, as I say, the minute one person raised the voice, all right, let's rethink it and be backing down. If it was bad under Mr. Manning and it remained bad under Dr. Rowley, they will keep backing down on Sandals, backing down on Smelter, backing down on Rapid Rail, backing down on the performing the Carnival Center, backing down on every bloody thing. You understand? And then you go into opposition and you get a government that doing what the hell they want, sending people home, doing this and you forward it.
And will remodel, redo, and implement some of your ideas. You understand? And it was said to Dr. Rowley at a point in time. I can't remember what is the actual issue, but I know some of these listeners are very good. That there was something that he wanted to implement, and Ms. Bissessa at that point in time they opposed it, and he backed off of it. And you know what? And eventually she told him that, that hey, something that was good for your people, you know what? You didn't stand up and fight for it. We oppose it, but you didn't stand up and fight for it either. You understand?
And that's correct. The issue of transforming Laventille, transforming downtown, building up, putting up those buildings and so on, and transforming the city of Port of Spain. Nothing happened. These
So-
things frustrate me, you know. Look, I'm starting to get frustrated. You better end the program. You better end the program.
You know, what I'm trying to say as we end the program, right, Wendell? The politics is not, I am in opposition. I am not here to make you look good. If I, as an opposition, make you look good, I will remain in opposition. You understand? So I want your job. I have to show flaws. Minor things I will support. Other major things that will transform the society, I'm not supported. I want to bring that for me when I get in there.
Which is why, Sir Charles, sometimes I don't blame this government for the way they're moving. I don't completely blame them. Some things I've supported. And at the same time, I don't want to hear certain people from the last PNM government. I don't want to hear them. You understand? Because you come in now and saying things about this government, but you spending 9.5 years not advancing certain things, not protecting certain people, not protecting certain institutions, and now you're vexed because this government saying to hell with all, you go home.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, and quite recently, Mr. Padarat had to say the same thing to Mr. Imbal theater, which he almost embarrassed Mr. Imbal in Parliament the other day, you know, because he said, you were the finance minister. You are representing our constituency for 30 something years and 24 years in government, and you ain't getting that, and you know, come to ask me why I ain't getting it. You understand? How Mr. Imbal could respond to that? You understand?
I reluctantly shared something from him the other day because it made sense, but I put a proviso when I shared it. I don't know. I think I would have shared it with you all. I put a proviso when I shared it. I said, let me see if I find it. I know who I sent it to. Who I will find it right away. I sent it to Paul. Paul has sent a lot of stuff to me. Morning, Paul. I said. Where is it? All right, look at here. I said, it pains me to share anything this man has to say, you know, but I have made an exception. And that exception was about Mr. Imbert contributing to the finance bill, right? He said, speaking at a news conference at Port of Spain yesterday, MP Colm Imbert said the opposition received notice of the finance bill containing 31 clauses, and at least half of these clauses seek to increase fines under a number of pieces of legislation. Imbert said some of the increases range from 50% to as much as 400%. A point of contention in the new legislation centers on the increases for unspecified offenses applied to minor infractions, such as the Motor Launches Act, which regulates vessels such as local party boats, where the general penalty for an unprescribed offense is increasing from $2,000 to $7,500. Imbert said the 275% tax increase will penalize party boat operators. Now, so it's a lot of stuff that Mr. Imbert has pointed out where there'll be an increase. But again, it's difficult to listen to him. It's difficult to read anything he says because as he spent 9 years as finance minister, barely protected certain things because PNM style is always we listen, we consult, we talk, we debate, and then you go out of office and nobody's protected. No institution is protected. So you come now to point out that these are the things that this government doing. But guess what? We give them the mandate. We give them the mandate to do it. So, right, it's all well and good for you to point it out now, but let me hear from somebody else who wasn't there to protect us.
Anyhow, when we're going up to 9 o'clock. In spite of all your stresses, I'm happy that you made it to 9 o'clock. When we come back tomorrow, don't forget the Father's Day is coming up, so I'm going to play the jingle for you all. You could hum, you could rap, create something, and sing part of the jingle for us to get in the hat to win prizes for Father's Day, right? So we look out for that. RJ is in the mid-morning today, so look out for Richard Jeremiah between 9 and 12 today, 9:01, sorry. So, yeah, all that is happening here on the net. Anything else, Wendell?
No, except that folks have an absolutely wonderful day. And remember to let go and let God. Bye-bye.
As simple as that. All right, people, this has been the Breakfast Show. Remember, you can come across the netradiott.com, netradiott.com, so you can listen to our excellent programming throughout the day. Of course, check out all of our media handles at Net Radio Trinidad. You can get us on all platforms, and we look forward to being with you again tomorrow inside of the Breakfast Show. So for now, this has been
the Breakfast Show.
Something happening here. Wait.
Okay. Alexa, where's Richard?
Alexa.
Richard, are you aware that you have moved away from your system and left it on? So we were speaking to your Alexa.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I hope she didn't reveal any of my secrets.
Well, no, we didn't ask any, but we asked about the weather in Arima. We asked about all kind of things. Yeah. But we didn't ask. We didn't go into your personal thing because when we realized, but we get Richard's Alexa is responding to us. So we start to play with you.
So much so that I say, you see me like me save Richard from there. Let me take off that microphone. Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case Richard teaching Alexa how to cuss.
Nah, that's one thing she doesn't do. But yeah, as I rushed out, I thought I was going to be back in like 10 minutes, but obviously I wasn't. I'm still out. So.
But we're on the way out, so.
Yeah. But I heard the Breakfast Show. I came in just to hear the Breakfast Show.
Yeah. Just about to close off. So, yeah.
So, have your say. Go ahead, have your say. We'll give you a chance to have your say.
All right, well, did you tell them about the fact that they can listen to excellent programming throughout the day at netradiott.com?
Yes.
Not yet.
Yes.
Richard, nobody don't take on Sir Charles when he say it. You go ahead and say it. You better say it.
And you can listen to on your smart devices like Alexa at netradiotrinidad.com.
That might be the most curious thing I said today, Wendell.
But I don't speak the truth all the time. A lot of people don't like it.
On TuneIn. On TuneIn. No, there are lots of people, that listen to programming throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a couple of friends who do tell me, yes, they do listen. Apparently, you're paying people Bryson sometime over the weekend.
Yeah, Saturday, the mini concert. We have a mini concert.
Yeah, somebody was telling me, man, they were enjoying people Bryson music.
I said that
No, this is a young person. And I said, people Bryson. I said, playing that. They said, Sir Charles. I said, wait, you're listening to netradiott.com?
Look at that. Sir Charles, you have a young person listening, aren't you?
No, we have a number of young people listening. And even on Sappy Sundays, we have some young people who send songs and stuff. You must listen in.
Okay.
So don't underestimate the listenership throughout the day. There's a lot of listenership throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so have a fantastic day, people. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow will be midweek. Have a fantastic day. Theatre is coming up at the end of the month. On the 27th and 28th of June, we will be finally at Queen's Hall with Scandal and Cedrus. And the following weekend, we'll be back at Naparima Bowl in San Fernando. And those are, of course, we are now drifting into our final shows for this production. So Queen's Hall, a lot of people have been clamoring for us to come to Queen's Hall. We will be there at the end of the month, the 27th and 28th. Tickets will go on sale shortly. And, of course, the following weekend, we will be at Naparima Boat in San Fernando before we move on to another play for the end of the month.
Richard, my interpretation of Mariano's message was correct. He did, because he sent a message this morning, just now. I just got up. Hard day. Apologies. We'll do tomorrow morning from Barbados. So he is in Barbados tomorrow. So, but he said he'll do the program from there. So we have Mariano Brown as a guest tomorrow.
So then I was right. It is tomorrow.
No, you are wrong. Why?
But I'm right. It's a Wednesday.
Technically, you're both right. At the end of the day, you're right. So he is joining us tomorrow. Yeah. God willing. All right, guys.
All right, so you look forward to that. I'm sure he'll have lots to say because he always does. So you can look forward to that conversation tomorrow on The Breakfast Show.
Get up. It's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes